morning, terabytes. Today is November 10th, 2022. My name is Cypress, and this is NewsBYTEs New for 22.
Welcome to NewsBYTEs New for 22. My name is Hunter. What's new this week? Well, let's go to Andrea to find out.
What's new, Nicole? Well, tomorrow is Veterans Day. It is a day we think in honor the men and women who have served in the U.S. Armed Forces. But why November 11th? Because it is in remembrance of the ending of World War I in the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. So if you are watching and are a veteran, we here at NewsByTEs would like to take a moment and say thank you for your service. Speaking of Veterans and Veteranas Day, we would like to go to Mrs. Kansam to hear more.
It's Mrs. Skadsam, and I'm here with my daughter, Clara, and we are excited to talk to you today about a really important and a really special holiday that we are celebrating on Friday, November 11th. November 11th is the important date. Clara, what holiday is on November 11th today?
It is Veterans Day.
Veterans Day. And so on Veterans Day, we celebrate veterans. Do you know a veteran?
Yes, it's my daddy.
Your daddy is a veteran. Let's tell all the megabytes out there, Clara, what is a veteran?
A veteran is somebody that works and serves in the military.
In the military. Clara, what branch of the military did your daddy serve in? What did he work on?
He worked on fixing airplanes.
Airplanes. He was in the Air Force. Because the best thing you can do on Veterans Day is what? What's the best thing you can do?
Say thank you to the veterans.
Yeah.
Because they worked on helping us around. They saved us from other stuff.
Yeah. The best way to celebrate Veterans Day is to thank a veteran. Goodbye.
Bye.
Wow, I never thought about how much veterans sacrifice for their country and how much their families sacrifice as well. My papa was in the Air Force, but way before I was born. I never really realized how much of a toll that took on everyone.
Hey Terabytes, it's Rory back with this week's weather. Today is Thursday, November 10th, and the high today will be 65 degrees. Unfortunately, due to the predicted rain, you likely won't get to enjoy the warmish temperatures. After today, the rest of the temperatures for the week will be in the upper 20s and lower 30s. Friday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday all have the possibility of snow in the forecast. Probably won't be enough for any fun snow activities, but hey, a guy can hope. There's also not much sunshine for the week's forecast, so bust out your happy lights to keep up your spirits. That's all for this week's weather. Catch you next week, Terabytes.
Did you know Minnesota usually has its first measurable snow during the first week of November? This year, though, we got it out of the way a little earlier than usual, October 14th. The last time we had snow this early was in 2018, which was followed by another 77.1 inches of snow over the rest of the winter. This is only the third time we've had measurable snow this early since the year 2000. So now you know. Back to you, Hunter and Cypress.
What? 77.1 inches of snow?
What? No way!
Wait! I'm as serious as Liam about our world news headlines.
Good morning. My name is Liam, and here are our world news headlines. Our story comes from Nairobi, Kenya. Talks began between Ethiopia's government and Tigray regional representatives to work out the details of a permanent ceasefire signed last week. Military commanders from both sides plan to discuss monitoring the deal, disarming Tigray forces, and resuming humanitarian aid access and basic services to the Tigray region. Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta is hopeful that the next time they meet together in the Tigray region, that both sides will be able to celebrate together. That's our world news headlines. Thank you for watching.
That's a great story, Liam. It's nice to hear about peace talks.
I wonder what kind of peace Mr. Cannon will bring us today.
Today we take you to Paducah, Kentucky, where something awful has happened. No, literally. There was a chicken offal spill on Highway 62, just east of Interstate 24. The Calvary City Fire Department has been working to wash the smelly waste material off the roadway, and county maintenance will apply salt to provide traction to this thick, slimy coating. Motorists have been advised to avoid the area to avoid the smell and to prevent getting chicken waste on their vehicle. Well, that's the slimy, awful details for the week. See you next time.
Wow, you brought us some strange stories, but that one really stinks.
Even though I just lost my appetite, let's still go to Eating with Eden. Maybe she'll bring it back with something delicious.
Hi, welcome to Eating with Eden, and today I have a little sous chef with me, Tiger Lily. Tiger Lily, she's my little Yorkie, and she's an amazing sous chef. She just sits there and is a great taste tester too. You know she likes it if she's shaking, and she keeps on licking her chops. And so today we're going to talk about cake tips, and you can see I have a cake here, and I have a few other supplies with me. And so I have my cake, and it has its buttercream crumb coating, which is another word for it's basically just covering your cake so that way when you put your designs on it, like fondant or buttercream, it won't get any crumbs on it. It will just look nice and has a nice thick layer of buttercream. And so now I'm going to give you a cake recipe, which has 1 stick of unsalted or salted butter. If you use salted butter, remember, never add salt to your recipe. Next in the recipe is 2 3/4 cups of all-purpose flour, and then 1 teaspoon baking powder, and if your butter is unsalted, 1 teaspoon fine salt, and 2 cups granulated sugar, 1/2 cup vegetable oil, 5 large eggs at room temperature, 1 tablespoon of pure vanilla extract, and 1 cup milk. So that's the recipe of the cake for today. And so now now time for the cake tips. So if you've ever been to a bakery, you might have seen that they have different flavors of cakes like strawberry, blueberry, and not just the plain original like chocolate and vanilla. And if you're wondering how they do that, they use bakery emulsions. That's the best way because it has certain stuff in it, and unlike puree, don't use puree for your cakes if you're trying to flavor them because it'll come up all gray and icky. It's weird. And so what I use is Lorraine baking emulsions, and they have so many different flavors too. And so sometimes I forget what rack to put my cake on in the oven, and then I always remember you need to put it on the middle rack. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the steps for your cakes. So the steps for it is butter, sugar, eggs, flour, then your flavoring, and then the milk. And then you can add some other flavors if you want to do it. There are different ways to grease your pan, like you can add butter or you can add baking spray. But another great way to do it is parchment paper. It might be hard to get down the folding technique of the parchment paper for the circle pans, but once you kind of know how to do them, it's easy. if you use a stand mixer or an electric mixer, you're probably wondering, I have the whisk setting, I have 2 other different settings. Which setting do I use? Well, you need to use the flat setting, which is for cake batter. The whisk setting is for stuff like meringues, buttercream, and those other things. But if you have that hook setting, that's for dough, cookie dough, stuff like that. There are different supplies that you need for frosting your cake, like this. So first, you need to have an angled spatula like this. This is my smaller version of it. But then your cake should go nicely like that when you're doing your crumb coating or other flat surfaces for decorating your cakes. The next thing you need is a coarse frosting tips. Now, usually in frosting tips, they always show the name for it. Like, for example, this frosting tip is a K38. And the most used common tip is 1A, which is basically just a plain circle frosting tip. And then there's frosting bags, and then a cake turner, which is this. It turns around your cake, which is so easy to use when you're frosting a cake or doing crumb coating. So now it's time to actually cut the cake. Okay, so I've taken a slice out of my cake. It looks pink and nice inside. When you use baking emulsions, you add 1 teaspoon. It'll look a little bit different because this time I had to improvise and use almond milk. But as you can see, this is what it looks like. I added some buttercream in between layers. And so always remember to take a bite out of cake. Bye everyone, see you next week.
Thanks, Eden. I'm finally starting to get my appetite back a little bit.
Yes, much better. I'm excited to check in with Mason and our meme submissions. Mason here with What's the Meaning of This? If you remember, our meme this week was the winning caption to this week is McDonald's. Oh, it's the bank. All I got was money. Oh. The winning caption came from Eden in 6th grade. Great job, Eden. Here is our meme for this week. Remember to email or Google Chat Mr. Cannon with your best caption to this meme. The winner will be on the news next week. Goodbye!
In honor of Veterans Day, we have a little twist on our brain here. This week, I will show you a picture of a veteran. Can you guess which New Code Academy staff member this is? The answer will be at the end of the episode.
Thanks, Mason and Barbara. That's the end of another episode.
But not until we watch Rad Jokes.
Welcome to Rad Jokes. My name is Rashad. Last week, Mr. Cannon added a button to your launch homepage so you can submit jokes to our show. Let's take a look at all of the great submissions we have so far. Okay, now what am I supposed to do? It's hard to host a statement about jokes if there are no jokes. Think fast, Rashad. Think fast. Oh, I got one. So, if I started telling dad jokes, does that make me a faux pas? Oh, that one did not sound too good. What did the big flower say to the little flower? Hey, bud. That one didn't sound right either. Oh! Wait, what was I thinking? Oh, come on, new code. Click the button and send in some jokes. I need help. Don't make me tell you the one about making reservations at the library. They told me it got completely booked. Ugh. That one sounded the worst out of them all, if you ask me. Help?
Thanks, Rashad. Hey, New Code, got a challenge for you. Next week, we'll play the best 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade joke. The goal being to get your lunch teacher to laugh.
All right, New Code, you think you can crack up your teachers? Well, the challenge is on. Click the button in the launch page so you can submit your best joke.
The picture of me is Mr. Ray Cannon on our tech intersection. Mr. Cannon was a member of the United States Marine Corps from 1983-1987 and played trombone in the Marine Band in Japan. Did you guess the correct staff member?
And that's the end of another episode. Remember to check out our Spiritware store, thank a veteran, and remember to take a bite out of learning. Bye!
And remember to take a bite out of learning, or in my case, this delicious candle.
Ugh. Chicken waste in their vehicle. Take a bite out of learning. Bye. Oh my gosh. The worst time.
Oh, I'm getting out of here.
Help?